ancient fool. A fool has no meaning, no love.
Do you need to sleep? Maybe something to eat?
No, not at all. I have so much work to do.
Come on, there's still some of the food you brought us yesterday.
Is there?
Hector looks longingly towards the spread.
Well, I suppose a few moments of indulgence could not possibly cost me a breakthrough.
He ate all like a... Oh god, that sneeze. He ate like a ravishing fiend. Ash silently wondered exactly how many meals he had skipped. The counter now mostly clear food. Hector let out a long yawn.
Sit down, Hector.
Ash patted the bed.
Why in light and shadow would I do that? I have so much work to do.
I want to talk to you about the incident. Maybe if I tell you more about what happened leading up to it, you might figure something out.
I suppose, yes, we could review it again.
Hector sat on the bed, and something seemed to finally give away in him. By Ash's estimate, he had skipped sleep 2 nights in a row. Hector's head drooped, and in a moment he fell over. Ash tucked him in as she finished what little food remained after Hector had inhaled the majority. She found it hard to believe, but a part of her wanted to forgive the man for having stolen the pairing with Prudence. He was quickly proving himself to be what Prudence's initial estimate had been, a good man. Another part made her simply resent him more. Taking a deep breath, Ash looked around the room. It didn't take a second glance to tell her she needed to be looking at something else. But where to go? If I was mad and resent him, I would go and do some healing. Some fresh air and the scent of roses that weren't long since she dried out would do her well. With that thought in mind, Ash drew a book from her shelf. It was one of the many she had read more than a dozen times before for her research. Tucking the book under her arm, she slid out the door, locking it behind herself. The walk to the garden was spent with the book as a binder, skirting the path directly before her. Not that it was one she needed to see long. She had taken the path almost every day for 16 years. The book itself was so familiar she may as well recite it as she read it. She had discovered it in her 11th year. It had been in the paladin section of the library. Its title was Healing Plants. She had at first assumed that the title was a glossary of medicinal herbs. The actual contents were quite different. Though the book was old, it contained documentation into an entirely new technique. It documented a paladin's foray into attempting to heal plants. Ultimately, the very author determined the research, throughout successful, useless. Ash has seen it from another perspective. If one could perform one of the pairing magicals upon a plant, why couldn't one perform the opposite? She had then begun her research into plant reanimation. Having finally graduated in Pear, this should have been her golden opportunity to actually put her research to the test. Like a pair from which to draw the line, however, left her where she had been the last 5 years.
Light and shadows!
Oh my god. The rancor in this girl's voice was enough to put her eyes from the book and to the garden around her. Let's see. When exactly had she arrived? She had been really into it. A girl stood at the far end of the mostly empty garden. Her hand was outstretched, and she was sweating as she strayed.
Come on!
The girl's intensity made the air feel heavy. Her pale complexity, side effect of being a necromancer, was beginning to darken and redden.
Please!
The girl's outstretched hand flexed. At once, the girl collapsed, panting desperately.
Aura, you okay?
The girl started, her eyes looking to Ash with fear.
I'm fine. Don't bother me! Can't you see I'm training?
The young necromancer's eyes were heavy with tears. Ash wondered if the girl could even recognize her through the haze. That haze.
I'm sorry. Do you need help?
No! I don't need help from anyone. I can pass my exams. No problem!
With that, the girl turned on her heel and was away at a run. It was a slow one.
Well, okay then.
Ash shrugged and turned back to her book. She was sure that the girl could use some help, but she wasn't about to offer it. She doubted she could really be of an assistance anyway, with her own plate already tall with her own problems.
What you reading there?
The fuck? A new girl had appeared as she leaned over, and Ash with interest and enthusiasm that reminded her of the day she had found the book. A shiver raced down her spine.
Sorry. Too close?
The girl stepped back.
It's a book on healing plants.
Them hips, though.
Healing plants? That doesn't sound particularly useful. Not unless you have sentient plants or something. Wait, there aren't sentient plants, are there?
No, or at least none I'm aware of. I use the book as a reference for my own research. It's become a kind of comfort read for me.
Oh, I know about those. I had a copy of the monster manual as a kid. I can't make it past Aboleth without nodding right off.
What? Abalula? What's this girl talking about?
Yeah, something like that.
So, what kind of research are you doing?
The girl was twirling arrows between her fingers.
I'm trying to develop a method to reanimate plants. I was hoping to test out my spells once I had been paired, but...
Ash simply trailed off, not really wanting to go in details of her situation.
Yeah, I don't really understand the whole pairing thing.
Ash cocked an eyebrow at the girl. She looked the same age as her. Surely she should be years into her ritual training by now.
Well, not yet anyway. Not completely. So, reanimating plants. That sounds more useful than healing them.
With a small smile, the girl carefully laid the rose on the book.
Could you, bring back a field of failed crops or something?
I don't know yet. It may leave the crops devoid of nutrition, so that may not be an option. I don't know what it can be used for, to be honest, or even if it can be done.
Just need to push the limits one way or another, huh?
Ash nodded and stared at the phoenix on her hand.
It's a pretty bird. What is it?
Was she asking what a mark was? No, that was rude to assume. It only took her a moment to realize what the girl had meant.
It's the Phoenix mark. I don't know what it supposedly means, though. I don't buy into mark interpretation.
Do you know anyone else with the mark?
No, it's pretty rare, apparently. Meaning, the only other person with my mark is my pair.
Idly, Ash fell to the girl's hands. She wore gloves. That was odd.
Ash, are you here?
Prue's voice came from behind her, and Ash turned on instinct.
Ash, was it?
girl gave me a small wave.
Ash, was it? It looks like you have company. I will excuse myself. Good luck on your research.
The girl smiled as she departed, and Ash smiled back. Ash knew it would be only a matter of time before Prude found her. Prude was like that, always caring. The two of them walked together back towards Ash's room.
At least it doesn't look like it was me that woke you up this time.
No, just Hector. He lost consciousness on my bed.
Wait. Did he pass out while checking on you?
Yes, and might I add that it's nice to know that you didn't immediately assume the worst.
Please. Well, I won't say I couldn't imagine a romance forming between you two. I doubt either of you are the type to find yourselves in bed so early into it.
The two laughed a little too loudly, perhaps. After a time, Ash slowed her pace, turning to look at Prude.
I just wanted to say that I'm sorry.
Sorry? For what?
I'm sorry that you're going to be stuck here with me. I know you were really looking forward to returning home and joining the King's Guard.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sure my mom can wait a bit longer. Excusing that, if it meant being away from my best friend, I wouldn't really want to go.
Ash knew that comment was supposed to comfort, but guilt strangled her.
You know that we're going to have to separate eventually. Even if we figure out what is happening with my mark, the fact remains that you were paired to Hector. Even if it turns out I wasn't properly paired, we still weren't paired to each other.
Well, my reasoning is that whoever you are eventually paired with will still end up paired.
Oh, she a mean bitch or what? Ash's heart beat quickly, and she could feel a blush into her cheeks. Feel it, bitch. Feel it.
Thanks for saying that.
We promised we'd always be together, right? Though, it's strange to think that there could be others involved in our little friendship. I barely knew Hector until the ritual.
Funny, he knew you.
He did?
She seemed far too eager to hear more about Ash's last remark.
He came to wake me up the day of the ceremony, only minutes after yourself. He commented that it wasn't really a surprise that you'd have taken the time to wake me up.
Huh. I wonder if there was a personal reason for him knowing me, or if he just happens to have taken the time to memorize the identity of every student.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised either way, though I don't know which is creepier.
Hey, he's still my partner. You shouldn't call him creepy.
My apologies, my dear, but I do believe it was he who called himself creepy. Or would you disagree with him?
Prude cocked her head in exaggerating thought.
I suppose I really can't argue with an expert.
The two laughed. It was a familiar sensation, and for a moment the shock of a ritual was finally, if however, temporarily behind them.
Should we maybe go for a walk and let him nap?
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm glad he's sleeping. I was actually starting to feel tired from the amount of sleep he was skipping. So, I wrote my mother with the news.
How did she handle it?
As well as can be expected.
So, poorly?
Prude nodded.
She says my duty to my kingdom is far greater than my duty to my school, and commands I leave at once. A greater concern is that the contract for her hedge mage has come up, and Aku says she has another position already waiting for her. Mother had been planning quite specifically for my prompt return.
I'm sorry. This is all my fault. Tell her that for me.
Oh, she knows. She says that I should just bring Heck with me. And I quote, "Let the sodding moldy sacks who call themselves heads suck a wand."
Oh, my. That's quite colorful language for royalty.
I know! I'm sure she was quite proud of it.
So, what are you going to do?
Well, my plan is similar to her own, save for one point she didn't account for. I intend to bring you.
What, have a trio instead of a pair?
Until we find the other Phoenix? Yes.
That's ridiculous. It would also be a trio in name only. I wouldn't be able to actually contribute to pairing magic.
I think it's a good idea. Leaving you here is just tragic.
You know what? You know what? You guys gonna see more in this next video. You guys have a good evening. Have a good evening. Because yeah, I don't like Prue. I like Prue, but I don't like Prue. I like Prue, but I'm so sorry, Ash. Like, God, goodness gracious, bless the darkness of your soul.